So far we have like this circular shapes or segments here, which makes it very nice. And of course, with our coordinates, we can easily position now items. For example, I want to hit this point here, which is probably 7 by something here, 5 point anything. If this is very confusing for you, you say, well, this is quite hard. We can change these coordinates nicely, and we can even rotate this, because maybe you want to say the closer to 0 is the closer to the center or the core of this shape. So let's do that one. So I'm going to scroll down here and just play around a little bit before we go on. I'm going to say the X scale, and what I will do first of all is, let's say min value 0, and our max value will be 100. This creates basically a simplistic form of analyzing where we are, and then of course we'll do the same here for the Y. If I do this, you can see here now this starts to work nicely. To ensure that both of these are always 0, I want to say begin at 0 set to true. Nothing happens here because right now all these values are close to the 0. What we can do now is we can rotate this. Maybe you say, well, I want to start at the top as 0. So what we can do here, comma, reverse, true. By doing that, we reverse the scale on, I think I'm doing it on the wrong scale. It should not be on the X, my bad. It should be on the Y. You could do it on the X, but it would basically, as you can see here, now it rotates and the value starts up. If you want to change the X, then the 0 will be here. I would not recommend that, I guess, in this case, but it's up to you. Because we have now 1 to 100, it becomes easier to figure out what is the center. Here you can see a 10 by 50, and if we are here, or let's say if we want to hit this point here, probably it's 25 or 24 by 40. So let's try that, and then we can just work on it after. 25 on the Y by 40x on the scale, and you can see here we're getting there, and I think we're exactly on top of it, or maybe it's 24. Probably that one is exactly matched. So with those coordinates, you can start to work on here, and this is just like an easy way to play around with it. All right. Well, what I want to do now is I want to put in the text here, because that was the most, or that will be the next part of it. So what I'm going to do here, basically we can do it in here. We're going to say here ctx.fill style, and I'm going to give this a fill style because we want to have proper font for it. So let's say here white. I'm not sure white would be a smart move, maybe. We'll see. Then I also want to say here ctx.font equals what exactly? We'll say here make it bold, 12 pixels, or maybe, yeah, I guess 12 pixels, fine. 12 pixels, and then we say sans serif, which is the default font family here. So once I did this, what I want to do next is to make sure, let's see, make sure we have the fonts, and then, well, let's draw the font, ctx.fill text, and the text here requires 3 specific items. We have the text, whatever we have, then we have the X and Y coordinates. So if I do this right now, probably we could use certain values on here. And remember, we're still in the translate mode. Basically, this here is the 0, 0 position. So what I could say here, 0, and then the Y 0, then it will be in the center. If I save this, let's see, we get here the text. All right, you can see it's a bit clipped off because it starts at the middle here. Or I'm not sure it's really clipped off. If I make it black, you will probably see it, but it just starts outside or halfway through. So what I want to do is first push this in the center and then push it a bit more down. So I want to say here ctx.textalign equals center, save. There we are. Let's push it down, and then you can see ctx. Maybe text baseline. Let's do that one as well, just to be sure. Middle. I don't think it will impact it at all, but just to be sure, so we know that it is truly positioned center. So now I want to go down here. To go down, I can just add up here, let's say plus, this is the Y value, basically plus 20. By doing that, I push it down. Of course, what I want to do here is maybe 20, and then I'm going to say multiply by I. Let's see what happens. Alright, we're getting 4 items here instead of 3, which is fine, no problem, because it just keeps on going, probably because of this for loop here. If I do this, will it damage it? it removed one of the shapes, so I want to maintain that one. So what I'm going to do is very simple. Is I'm going to push this down, and if it's outside of the chart area, do not draw the last one. Very simple. So first of all, let's push that down first. Text, and I have no proper term for this one, so I'm just going to give it segment. Well, let's do it template literal here. Say segment or zone $i +1. Save that. Refresh. You can see zone 1, 2, 3, and 4. So how do we push this a bit more down? Let's see here. We can probably get here the segment shape. Instead of 20, maybe say here plus segment. All right. Then we can push this down. Let's say here again. Maybe we do this 20. We can make this 20. It goes like that. That looks quite nice. I want to remove this one here because this one is still within the chart, but it's not being removed. So we need to say this is outside the chart area. So what I'm going to do is create an if statement. If, and maybe we can even do it from this point here. If, and then I'll say here if the. So this is what we're really talking about, is the text position. And the text position would be then, if it's outside the chart area, then I need to remove this. So how can we do that? We do an if statement here, but probably if it is beyond what we call the, if this is 0, the height is our leading principle here. So if, let's say this item here needs to be converted. So we're going to say constant text position. All right, so we have that one, and basically it will be in here. Let's cross check this if it works. All right, that works fine. Now remove this one here. So if the text position is smaller than height, in that case we should draw everything, or maybe we can even draw, we can just loop. Only this item needs to be looped. So I guess we can even cut that and put it back down here. That will make more sense. Or maybe we can even cover that all. Doesn't matter. I'll just leave it for now. And as you can see, this works. I guess even this maybe would be even better, because then it will not calculate and load the upper text if it's outside of the chart area height. There we are. It's just faster, but it doesn't really matter. So there we are. So now we have this here, and that works beautifully. And we have this here, the weekly sales. We can play around with the position as